Meet the friends of Snugglewood deep inside the cozy, giggly, squishy forest of Snugglewood, where clouds drifted low enough to be patted like fluffy puppies and mushrooms wore polka dot hats. Lived three best friends in little cottages shaped like teacups. Benny the bunny, a fluffy, energetic bunny with ears so long they sometimes tripped him when he ran too fast. Benny loved snacks, especially marshmallows and anything that squished. Tilly the turtle, a slow, clever turtle who lived in a mushroom cottage with a tiny chimney that puffed out cinnamon-scented smoke. Tilly wore tiny glasses and carried teacups on her shell, just in case anyone needed tea. Milo the Mouse, a teeny mouse with a huge imagination and a squeaky giggle. Milo carried a backpack that was almost as big as he was. It rattled with buttons, rubber bands, cheese bits, and other mysterious, very important mouse treasures. They lived near the magical giggle pond, which made gentle burbling sounds that sometimes sounded like laughter. The flowers along its edge giggled if you tickled their petals. And the dragonflies wore sparkly socks again, don't ask. It's just Snugglewood. The wild idea. One bright morning, Benny burst out of his cottage wearing a headband made of dandelions and a serious look on his bunny face, which wasn't very serious at all. He ran to the clearing where Tilly was sipping tea and Milo was playing leaf hopscotch with a beetle named Gerald. "Guys," Benny shouted, "I had a dream. A dream about the greatest race ever." Tilly peeked over her glasses. "Is it a quiet race that ends in a nap?" We balance one on our heads, and we race to the peppermint tree at the top of Giggly Hill. No hands, no paws, no tails, just balance. There are the marshmallows. "I'm in," Milo squeaked. Tilly blinked slowly. "Well, as long as we stop for tea halfway, deal." Preparing for the race, the friends spent the whole afternoon getting ready. Tilly brought a clipboard and made a list of rules. No cheating. No sneezing. Milo packed his backpack with 2 extra marshmallows, emergency fluff, a napkin, a tiny whistle that sounded like a hiccup, and 3 shiny acorns for luck. Benny, naturally, started practicing by bouncing around with a jelly bean on his head. He crashed into 3 bushes and a surprised owl. "I got this," he said, pulling twigs out of his ears. The next morning, the forest buzzed with excitement. Even the mushrooms were little race flags. At the starting log, the crowd gathered. Was the referee. Two twin squirrels, Pip and Pop, sold lemonade. A raccoon DJ played music on 2 coconut halves. Each racer got a marshmallow plopped gently. "Ready," shouted Gerald. "Set," squeaked Pip. "Goo-oo," bellowed Pop. Benny's bouncy blunder. Benny zoomed ahead like a fluffy rocket. "See ya slowpokes," he called, hopping so fast his feet were blurry. But with every bowing, the marshmallow on his head bounced higher. Steady, steady, splop. It flew off and landed in a mud puddle. Benny skidded to a halt. The marshmallow blinked up at him from the mud, looking like a very sad snowball. He sighed and scooped it up. "Well, I guess I'll cheer for the others." Milo's mini adventure. Milo was doing great. He walked slowly, tongue sticking out, focusing super hard. too late. He slipped, rolled like a fluffy marble, and his marshmallow bounced off into the grass. "Oh, cheese crumbs," he said, holding his sparkly prize. Tilly's tea time trek. Tilly took one slow step. Left foot, breathe in. Right foot, breathe out, she chanted calmly. She passed a gossiping bush. She passed a squirrel on roller skates. She even passed a sneezing dragonfly. Her marshmallow did wobble, but she whispered, "Not today, wind." Halfway through, she paused at a toadstool, set out her teacup, and had a tiny sip of chamomile. Then, without rushing, she continued. And while the other two were giggling in the grass, covered in leaves and marshmallow goo, Tilly reached the peppermint tree, still balanced, still calm, still classy. The winner and the real prize. The crowd cheered politely because it was a turtle. Tilly raised one tiny arm and gave a slow wave. Benny and Milo came running up, panting and covered in bits of nature. "You won." Milo squeaked. "You actually won. And you didn't even break a sweat," Benny said, sniffing his gooey marshmallow. Tilly smiled. Sometimes the slow road is the best road. They all sat together under the peppermint tree, munching fresh marshmallows and sipping tea from teeny cups. Moral of the story. As the moon rose and the giggle pond started burping strawberry bubbles, the friends laughed about the day. Benny leaned back and said, "You know, I learned something today." "Not to bounce with goo?" Milo asked. "No," Benny grinned. "That friends, fun, and fluffy snacks matter more than winning." Tilly nodded. "And slow and steady isn't boring. It's smart." Milo added, "And shiny buttons can wait until after races." They all laughed, dozed off under the peppermint-scented breeze, and dreamed sweet marshmallowy dreams. The end. Moral: rushing ahead isn't always the way to win. Patience, focus, and enjoying the journey with your friends can be the best kind of victory.